Oh, Kevin, we'll come on to generalities in a moment, hopefully. Let's talk about specifics though. Liam Noble's been a lot of talk about Notts interested in him. What's the latest?
Yeah, I think we've put a firm offer in. I'm not too sure yet. I'm just waiting on whether it's something which is going to make them accept or let them accept or not. Apart from that, there's not much really going on. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on, but we're trying to get as much done as quickly as possible, and I think that's what we want, is so that these lads get in to us as quickly as possible, so that they can get in with what we're trying to do this year. Try and get our work ethic, our attitude, application, all that type of stuff, and what we're trying to do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that we're ready come become the 5th of August, going into what's going to be a really solid and tough amount of games.
Just to be clear on Liam, then, the bid's in. You're just waiting to hear back from Forest Green.
Yeah, I think there's no secret now that we haven't put bids in, but hopefully now it's one we're trying to move and get. Trying to get Liam over here and get him back here. We feel that he'll be an important cog in what us moving forward. But if it doesn't work out, then we've got to move to number 2, number 3, or number 4 targets. All that type of stuff works, and I'm not saying that it goes in class. It's just the way it's sort of worked out. We've had targets for a while now. There's a lot of talking going on with a lot of clubs, different clubs, but because obviously that's the only one well publicised at the minute. I don't really want to talk about someone else's player because I feel it's a bit disrespectful and wouldn't like it if it was me. So, but because it's well publicised, I will give you an honest answer.
And have you kind of set a deadline in terms of hearing back from Forest Green?
No, there's no deadline. I think what we've got to do is realise if the deal's dead in the water, then we move on to the next one. We want to get, as I said, we want to get all our targets in as quickly as possible and get them over the line. But if it doesn't work out, we then have to move on to the next one, and then try and do that as quickly as possible. We don't want to really be in negotiations and having all the trouble of not really getting the lads into the final weeks of the pre-season, because we want them to be able to withstand what our boys are going through over the last 4 or 5 days, because they've come back in fantastic shape. Everyone's well ahead of where we wanted to be. And we're really looking forward to hopefully it's going to be a good positive season.
The name you've been linked with is the Australian centre-half Curtis Good at Newcastle. Is there anything in that?
It's the first I've heard.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, look, I think we've probably wandered through, and he's one who will possibly come up. But at the minute, no, he'll probably be on our radar, because we've not left no stone unturned in what we've looked at and everyone we've looked at. But yeah, I mean, he's probably just one to a list of many. As I said, in Liam Noble's case, I think it's been more well publicised because the lad's been here back here before. But whereas everybody else has sort of been on the back burner and been able to get away without anything really getting out.
It's 3 signings so far. Are you happy with the way you're headed so far?
Yeah, I think fantastic signings. I think all of them have improved us as a squad. I'm delighted with the people we've got in. Many thanks to Alan for making that happen and backing me. He knows, he's very, in the loop of where we want to go and what we're trying to do and who we're trying to get in, and we're talking constantly and daily and hourly, and we're just trying to get all our deals done, because you never know what might pop up later on in the window. So we don't want to do all our work really early, because people become available and then you think, oh, we could have had that. So we're not trying to blow budgets just as yet. So we've got to be very shrewd in the market. And if we can do that, and then if that 1 or 2 pops up later on, like we did, at the end of January when he got the embargo lifted off, what were the amount of stuff we were able to do in them last 2 days, and the quality players we were able to bring in, who contributed massively to what was a fantastic end of the season. We can't forget that. So I know a lot of fans are going to be frustrated because we've got our near neighbours, bringing people in the door daily, but we're a club who's in transition. We're working hard to make sure that we get our targets, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that it's just going to be a daily thing. It's, we've got to make sure everything due care and attention. He's the right person. He wants to come to the club. They're going to bring something to the club. They're going to contribute to the club to make sure that we get, the lads coming in and making sure that they hit the ground running with us, and we want to be able to get them in as quickly as possible. But sometimes that's not always allowed, if you like, in football, and we've got to be patient because it's one of those games, and we've got there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes before a lad does actually get over the line and sign. So yeah, I mean, we're very confident that we'll get the people in we want, but if not, we move on to the next one.
You've got 3 in so far. Have you got in your mind an idea of how many more you want and need?
I think you'll see. Hopefully, we'll see another few coming in. I'm not going to put numbers on it, because then if I don't get that exact number come the end of the window, fans will think that I haven't got the targets. So all I will tell them is that to be patient, to make sure that, and just trust me and Alan and our staff, because we're working as hard as we possibly can to make sure that we get our targets in. And as I said, if it doesn't work out the way, we move on to the next one. And as we said, we've got backup plans for everything, and every incident or instance what happens in the next 5 weeks, we've got a backup plan for it.
You obviously came in last season, and kind of things seemed a bit rushed in January because the embargo was being lifted. You'd not been at the club that long. I just wonder how different it feels for you this summer, having the whole of the summer and obviously time before to kind of plan how different it is.
Yeah, and I think that's what that's what we've got to do. We've got to make sure that we don't get carried away. We have to get everybody in the first 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, it is sometimes. It is great if you could do that. But as I said, sometimes in football, and me being around it for so long, and them last couple of weeks, someone always comes available who you didn't think you would be able to get. Or someone gives you that call, oh, do you fancy this player, and you think, Jesus, I would have took him to in the second week, but he's not available in the second week of the transfer window. So we've got to make sure that we don't get too carried away. We've got, as I said, we've got our targets. If we stick to them, I'm confident that we'll get a squad who's capable enough of making sure that we have a fantastic season. And by that I mean, making sure that we don't go through the drama of what we did last season. We'll have someone who'll be able to compete with each week, every week, and be quite and safely in the top half of the table, because I think that's a realistic aim and realistic challenge for us, and making sure that we stay in the top half of that table, and who knows if we can dare to dream. But for me, it's about making sure we get good lads in this club, making sure we get the right characters in this club, making sure that everyone who pulls on that shirt represents this club in the way that me and Alan see the club, or me and Alan envisage the club being and getting on.
For being a player or a manager in the summer then?
I haven't done anything to even think about being a player at the minute. We've got too much work going on behind the scenes. I am doing my own little thing off, down the side, which will hopefully be able. Well, I know my own body, so I know what I've got to do to make sure that I can get there. And I'm sure we will be seeing me at some point in a kit, whether that's on here or whether that's in a reserve game. Who knows? But yeah, I will be signing another contract, playing contract, just for backup, because unfortunately we lost our skipper late on last season, and we were in a position where we were able to blood spike through young Alex Howe. So if that wasn't the case and we didn't have that sort of strength and depth, then I think you might have been seeing me late on. So yeah, that's what we're trying to get away from, so that we have got that strength and depth, that if we do lose a key member of our squad, that we've got someone who can certainly fill in quite quickly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
On the back of signing Dan Jones, give us his thought process behind that and the reason for signing him.
Yeah, delighted. I think Dan brings a lot of experience, and the thing was, he wanted to come, and that's what I said last year. There'll be no one coming in here, and we're trying to persuade them to come and join us. Everyone's got to want to come and play for this club. I think with what's going on behind the scenes, once they walk in, some players won't be able to believe the facilities what we'll have. As you can see, the lush new pitch behind us here, and then what Alan and myself have put together over in behind the stand there, it's going to be, the facility is going to be fantastic, and somewhere everyone's going to love coming to work. We've now got our own training ground, which moves us on again. It gives you that sort of different aspect of when people come, like, oh, where's the training ground, where's this, where's that. Now we're getting it to a club where me and Alan feel that it'll just keep getting better and better, and we're still taking the tiny steps, but making sure that it's somewhere where everyone wants to come, everyone wants to see it and want to be involved with us, and when they do come here they want to work, and I think they'll have no excuses.
And what will Dan Jones bring to the team?
I think Dan, I think he's got a great left foot. He's an up and downer. He can get, he's an athlete. He's a fantastic. You see that, he's got an athlete's body. He is, and then what we're going to do is make sure that guess his defensive duty is right first, and then he brings all them attacking qualities what he's got and in abundance, and he can play in a number of positions, which is always a positive thing, and he's got great quality and delivery. So yeah, he's going to bring hopefully a lot of quality, and most of all, he's a great lad to have, a great lad to work with, and he's settled in with the group really well, with the team and with us, and he's pushing the lads along, which is fantastic to see.
And I suppose it's great keeping that core nucleus of the squad that ended the season, because there was a good vibe about the place, wasn't there? And I imagine that's continued into this summer as well, is it?
Exactly, because they bought into what we wanted to do. Now we can start to implement new things, implement new stuff what we want to do, and they're buying into it because they've seen what we can do in such a short space of time with a buy-in from a squad and a buy-in from a staff, and us all singing off one hymn sheet. So I feel with the lads who've come, and I'm delighted to say that everyone who we asked to sign all signed back. So it speaks volumes for what they want to do and what they want to achieve and what they feel they can achieve, and obviously we're delighted that they're backing us, and it's great for when someone does walk in, every one of them are on board, and it just makes it much easier to get that extra man. But as I always said, we'll only bring people who want to be here and want to be part of this, and when the first day we're showing them exactly what's going on behind the scenes and what we're all planning and all that type of stuff, I think they've been blown away. So I think you'll see a lot of good this year, and we know we're going to hit some tough times and some rocky patches, but we're hoping that they'll be few and far between.